sons, happy Friday. Hey, I did something yesterday in my time with the Lord in response to an invitation from Him as I was reading in Psalms, and it was remarkable. It was something I'd never done before, and so I just wanted to share it with you so that it's an encouragement to you. So I was doing my daily meditation, which includes reading a chapter from the Old Testament, one from the New Testament, and then one from a psalm. And I was reading in Psalm 77, and my heart was really connecting with what the psalmist was saying. He was saying, I cried out to you for help. I called to you. How long are you going to withhold the joy of your presence? How long are you going to withhold the kindness of your face from me? And I was feeling, yeah, Lord, like it feels like it's been a while since I've heard you clearly. And then and then the psalmist got to verse 10. He said, "And then I thought, to this I will appeal. The years when the Most High stretched out his right hand. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will consider all your works and meditate on all your mighty deeds." And I sense God saying, I want you to go back in your story, Jay, and consider how often I have been with you and the people, the moments, the occurrences, the thoughts that were significant to you, or maybe appear insignificant to you, that inevitably led you to where you are today in this moment where you're calling out to me. And so I was taken back to my childhood. I was taken back to my early years in church. I was taken back to relationships with people, moments where I was fathered or initiated, and it quickly became a list of 20 things. And then I stopped and I was like, okay, God, I get the point. You have always been there with me, even in the moments where I didn't feel it or acknowledge it. And I began to sense the Lord's presence with me in this moment. It was a rescue. It was amazing. It was wonderful. And it was a practice that God was saying, I want you to do this with me. And to be uh, candid with you, whenever I have read a psalmist or somebody in scripture say, I will meditate on your works, I will remember the great deeds that you have done, I've always thought, well, go back and remember Genesis and Exodus and the things that you have done for the saints in the past and the miracles that you performed through them. And those are not wrong at all. Every one of those I receive encouragement from. But for him to invite me back into my story and for me to go into each memory, and as I'm in the memory, I'm like, oh yeah. And I said out loud, you were there. And then he would take me to the next memory in my childhood, and I would say, you were there. And pretty soon I was saying, you were there, 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 you were there. And it felt so good to my heart. It was just filling me up again with a recognition that God's presence is it has always been there. He is faithful, that there's no place that I have been that his spirit was not with me. And it reminds me of David in Psalm 139, proclaiming to the Lord out of maybe a moment like the one that I had, the one that you're being invited into, to say, look, I've been here, if I go to the edge of the sea, you're there. If I go to the very depths of hell, you're there. Where can I flee from your presence? Because you are there with me always. So that is my encouragement to you when you're feeling down and low. Invite God to take you back into your memories. I didn't write them down. I didn't journal them. It was just a quick boom, 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 using my head and my heart. I allowed my soul to be taken on a tour of my story by the Spirit of God. And he led me into some beautiful places. And so I hope that encourages you. I know it encouraged me deeply, and I'm going to be doing it again and again and again, probably for the rest of my life when I need it. So I'm going to make a note in Psalm 77 that on this day, God invited me into this practice. And What I'm discovering, along with other sons, and I hope that you're discovering this as well, is that because you are a son, because you belong now, you are a member of the household of God, because you are accepted through Christ, you have nothing to fear, nothing to hide, and you have nothing to prove. Communion with God is yours, it is your birthright, and let's keep going.